It's actually been pretty good. It's been a very weird offseason, not having OTAs, not having mini camp. Our line is all about camaraderie and chemistry and not having the access to build that throughout the offseason, a typical offseason. For us to come together and perform the way we have over the last week or so, this week with pads, it's been really good. Guys are really stepping up. I think Damian Lewis is going to be a baller. He's looked really good. Brandon Shells looked really good. BJ Finney, Cedric, like just a lot of guys. Everyone has filled in and done a great job. And I think the potential that we have is really good. We just have to keep going.
Duane, how do you make up for the time that you haven't been able to be on the field together when offensive line is all about chemistry and, like you said, camaraderie?
We do the best we can. We're all, as far as outside of football, just getting to know each other. Like we're all in group chats. You know what I mean? We have our Zoom meetings, trying to learn each other and being in the facility. We have that opportunity. Other than that, it just comes down to work. You can't really simulate anything outside of actually playing. So we just have to get our work in practice. And like I said, so far it's been really good. So we'll have adversity at some point that we'll have to overcome. And that's what builds the character. And so whenever that happens, we'll face it.
Chris Francis.
Hey, Duane, it's been a few years now, but regarding your leadership, when you came to this team, did you did you tread lightly knowing that Russ and Bobby and all those guys were here in terms of kind of asserting your leadership?
Definitely. You come to a new team, especially a team with a winning history, Super Bowl team, and you come here, you just try to do your job and fit in wherever you can, and that's kind of what I did. I think, my resume and just the way I went about my business made guys respect me, and follow whatever I said or the example I tried to set as from a working standpoint. And as the years went on, it's only gotten better. You know what I mean? I've been able to perform on Sundays. Guys have been able to get to know me as a person, and and I'll just embrace it every year. Try to add something to it, and do a little bit more. And this year has been more pivotal. Again, we have so many new faces in our room. You have a young team, so. And we haven't had the typical offseason, so the leadership aspect and then that role for me has grown some, and like I said, I embrace it. And it's been great so far.
Brady.
Hey, Duane, wondering which of your offensive line mates has stood out during the one-on-one pass rush drill so far?
I think so far I have to say Damian Lewis. For a rookie to come in, number one, I think he. In the Zoom meetings, like I said, he didn't have a typical rookie offseason, and he had to learn everything at home, and he was able to really retain a lot of information and be able to see him physically in practice. One-on-ones, he's been stellar, and we have a good group of D linemen as well, and those guys get after it, make us work, and he has a lot of ability, strong, plays with great leverage, he can move well. So that's been probably the biggest. So like I said, we have a lot of guys that have been standing out, but from him stepping in as a rookie, his first NFL action, he's been the guy for me.
And then a quick one on Russell Wilson, just a very broad question. What makes Russell as great as he is?
Oh man, I don't know if I have time to answer all that. I think he works harder than anybody I know. From a mental standpoint, knowing the game, knowing the offense, knowing defenses, knowing everything. From a physical standpoint, the work that he does for himself, for his body to make sure he's out there every week, it's second to none. His practice habits. Like I tell guys, like when you come here, you come to this team, when you have your best players, guys like him, guys like Bobby, they work like guys that are trying to prove something every day. You know what I mean? They go out there and they're trying to prove something. They're trying to win. You can't help but bring that same attitude, and he brings it every day. He's the most consistent person, I'm just happy to block for him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Joe Fan.
Duane, you were part of recruiting Jadeveon Clowney to Seattle and making him feel like this is the place he wanted to be. I'm curious if you keep in touch with him at all this offseason, maybe where his head's at and your impressions of his situation.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. Not trying to pressure him to make a decision or anything, but just to keep in touch with him. He's like a little brother to me, so just making sure he's good. His family's good. And he's working. He's in shape. And I'm just waiting to see how the thing plays out. If we have him back, that would be great. If not, I understand the business side of it. But yeah, I keep in touch with him. He's doing good.
Adam Jude.
Hey, Duane, you've been through a few weeks now of kind of daily COVID testing. I'm curious what maybe your thoughts were about coming into camp, about playing this season, and where you stand now a few weeks in. And Seahawks, I think, are one of the few teams that haven't had a positive test. Where do you stand now in terms of your comfort level in playing this season?
I'm good right now. Obviously I had a lot of questions, a lot of concerns heading into it, and I was in Los Angeles for the majority of the offseason, so out there it was such a big deal, and it still is, so, the part that scared you about it was just, what could happen, what if, and not knowing how the day-to-day was going to be. But again, Seattle Seahawks have done a great job of just keeping us out of harm's way as much as possible, doing everything possible to try to make it as normal. It hasn't been the same as usual, but I think the comfort level is there, for all of us. We have our practices, we have our, meetings away from here, and we all feel pretty comfortable. We're all at first it was kind of like not really as concerned about football as everything else. Now we're on the road of just playing football, and trying to win games. And so, feeling pretty good right now.
Would you say you're more optimistic now than you were maybe a few weeks ago that you guys can kind of play a full season?
Definitely more optimistic now that, we've been here for a few weeks and seeing how everything is structured, and again, we haven't had any tests, any positive tests, so that's been the biggest sign.
Thanks.
Emmy.
Hey, what's going on, Duane? You started as a rookie back in 2008. You mentioned how Damian Lewis has impressed during pass rush drills and one-on-ones. Is there any advice you can tell a guy who might be in line to start from day one, the transition from college, or is it something they just kind of have to learn on their own once the kind of games get going live?
Yeah, advice going into it, know your playbook. You know what I mean? Like if you know your playbook, that slows the game down so much. As a rookie, trying to learn plays and assignment checks, it takes up so much energy. It takes away from you, perfecting your technique. So knowing your playbook is the main thing. Knowing what you can do is half the battle, and once you're out there, just respect every opponent, whether it's a starter, whether it's a Pro Bowl player, whether it's a practice squad player, respect every opponent you're going against, and just try to improve on something every day. Every day, try to find something you want to improve on, whether it's footwork, hand placement, your vision and your pass protection, whatever it is, lock in on one thing and improve it, and go from there. From there, it's just all about experience. Once you have you just have to have experience to get better.
Bob Condotta.
Yeah, Duane, I was just curious, you talk about pass rush drills. Anybody on the defensive side, what's your view, I guess your overall view of how the defensive line is coming together on that part? Obviously, been a lot of...
I'm sorry, you started to fade out a little bit. You said the defensive side of the ball, and I lost you. Did you hear it?
Oh, sorry, I was having trouble here with my thing.
No, it's all good.
On the, I'm just curious, in the pass rush drills, have you seen on the defensive side, is there anybody that's really stood out to you on that side, especially any of the young guys?
Yes, I don't want to mess up his last name. Benson. He's really, really good, and I knew he was good. I played against him when he was in Dallas. A lot of quickness. Bruce Irvin is really good. The rookie, Alton Robinson, has done some really good things. Again, we have a solid group up front on the defensive end, and I told a lot of guys, a lot of the new guys, a lot of the younger guys, I told them, be appreciative that we have we have some good rushers, you know what I mean? Because it's good to have that competition. It's better to have, really, really hard competition in practice to try to make it easier on Sunday. So we have a lot of guys, and they play with great effort, great energy, and it's been really good so far.
Jackie Montgomery.
Hey, Duane. Coach Carroll has talked really highly of Brandon Shaw. I just wanted to get your opinion.
I'm sorry. The mask has got you.
It's okay. Coach Carroll talked really highly about Brandon Shaw, and I'm just curious what your opinion is of what you've seen so far.
Yeah, Brandon Shell. Shell is a really good player. First of all, he's a massive guy. Really, really big body, can move, athletic, plays with really good hands. He's dominant in the run game. It's been pretty good. Like I said, he's been solid. So I'm looking forward to working with him more. But to have two new guys on the right side of the line, and the way that they've improved so quickly over the last week, and just building that chemistry they have to build together, it's been really encouraging for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nico.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, Nico. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Greg.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Greg Bell.
Hi, Duane. When people see that the Seahawks sign a center, bring B.J. Finney in, or put Ethan Post, okay, new guy at center, can you talk about how intricate that process is for the rest of the line? And now even in the COVID-19 camp, when you only got 14 padded practices and no preseason games, that whole process probably isn't just an overnight thing, right?
Yeah, the center position is a very, very instrumental part of our success as an offense. It's someone that really drives the ship when it comes to communication for us up front. Have to be extremely knowledgeable of the offense and just in defensive fronts. Work in sync with Russ. And so, yeah, that's something that, it takes a lot. That takes probably the most when it comes to like trying to gel as a unit, is, to have, a new person that comes in the team in a new system, learning that, Ethan's been in the system for a few years, so he's understanding of it. But even then, from year to year, you just have to have a refresher, and not having OTAs can kind of hinder that. So they've been doing a great job, though, especially going against our defense, who gives us a lot of different looks. They move around a lot, try to confuse you a lot. So it's been great work for both of those guys, and but they've stepped up.
All right, last one, Corbett Smith.
Hi, Duane. This is a young man's game, obviously. You're now entering your 13th season, and the other day your athleticism was on display chasing down Jamal Adams at practice. What's your secret? Have there been any adjustments that you've made in regard to workouts, nutrition, as your career's progressed to help you stay on top of your game for this long?
For one, I've been blessed with good genetics, you know what I mean, and I'm thankful for that. Besides that, definitely my diet has changed. My diet's changed over the years, just making healthier choices. And I train a lot. I train 4 to 5 days a week. And I think that's just been a secret. Just trying to find different ways to recover. I talked about it some in the off season, but I don't know, man. It's just I work. You know what I mean? I work. Like I said, you got guys here like Russ and Bobby that I watch, and I kind of emulate some of the stuff that they do. To try to keep it going. You know what I mean? I love this game. I love this team. And I want to be at my best. From week to week, to contribute. So that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Duane. Thanks for
you
your
guys.
time.